Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Webs of Faith Elevate. My name is Abby and I am so excited because today is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day. I love all holidays. I love to get to celebrate them and to decorate for them and to do different activities, but I really love Valentine's Day for two reasons. The first one is because one of the big colors is pink and I love everything pink, and I honestly even like reds, just like the colors of Valentine's Day are absolutely my favorite. But the second reason I really love Valentine's Day is because it's a day all about love. And I love love. I love reading about it. I love watching it. I love rom-coms. I love watching people get to celebrate love and weddings and all of it. I figured today would be a great day to talk about God because God is love. God is the greatest kind of love. So why not spend a day all about love, talking about the creator of love. 1 John 4:19 tells us that we get to love because he loved us first. So today, when you are buying flowers for your spouse or a stuffy for your child, or you are loving on your family or friends or whoever it is, that is all because God chose to love us first. He chose to love us before we were created. He chose to love us as we were being knitted in our mother's womb. He chose to love us after we were born, and he's choosing to currently love us in this moment, every single day. Every moment of every day, he chooses love. Tons of places where God shows his love for us and he shows examples of love. But I want to focus in on 1 Corinthians 13 because I feel like this is a great place to see what love is all about. This is a passage that's typically read at weddings because it does talk about what love is. It's titled Love is Indispensable. Before we get into 1 Corinthians 13:4, which is typically where you hear things read at weddings, the love is patient, love is kind, I want to back up a little bit and talk about the first 3 verses of this. It says, "If I speak in the tongues of men or angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all that I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardships that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing." Every time I read this part, I'm reminded of the song by For King and Country, Proof of Your Love, because they speak this and they say it so beautifully. I love their accents and I love that part of the song. But this idea that everything has to be done in love, and if it's not, then we have nothing. But if we think about it, if God is love and we don't have love, then that means we don't have God and we are nothing. Nothing we do means anything if we don't have God behind us. I'm going to continue reading in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4, starting verse 4. "Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres, and love never fails." If we read this with the idea that God is love and we put God in place of love, God is patient, God is kind, he doesn't envy, he doesn't boast. And these are all things that we know are true based on what God has showed us through the Bible. And honestly, even in my own life, I can recall times where God has just showed me patience and kindness. We know that God doesn't keep tracks of all of our wrongdoing. That is, as soon as we ask for forgiveness, he casts them as far as from the east as to the west. I think reading this and understanding that God is love and this is what God wants for us is such a beautiful thing. We are people who are meant to have this kind of love. He has created us to need this kind of love. But we can't hope that a human can have this kind of love. I've been married for almost 10 years and we've been together for almost 13 years. And I can tell you time and time again that I have fallen short in these places. I have fallen short loving my husband the way that he deserves. And honestly, vice versa. Not too long ago, I was reading some letters I had written to my husband back in high school. And there's definitely some jealousy in those and definitely not a lot of patience in those. Whether I look at myself as a aunt or a mom or a wife or a friend or a daughter, there are so many places where I'm gonna fall short. And if I am trying to gain this kind of love that God has called me to have from other humans who are gonna fail, who are gonna fall short, then I'm never going to be fulfilled the way that God had intended me to be fulfilled when it comes to love. And we know that love is super important. I mean, it's listed time and time again of how God has showed us love. And we know based on the story of the Good Samaritan that Jesus tells us that love is the most important thing we could do. Even in verse 13, it says, and now, 1 Corinthians 13:13, and now these three remain, faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love. So we know that love is so vastly important to who we are as people and what God has intended. He's called us to love one another. We can try every single day to have that kind of love that Jesus has for us, that God has for us, that He has created. But we also have to know that we are going to fall short sometimes, that we're going to be selfish, or that we're going to do things for our own purpose, or that we're not going to be as kind as we should be. Especially as a toddler mom, my patience runs out so fast, and I love my toddler and I'm working on it, but we're gonna fail. But God will never fail, and if God is love, then we can rest assured that God will give us the love that we are seeking. Valentine's Day is another holiday, and I know firsthand that not everybody's going to go into this holiday feeling as peppy as they want to be, that some people are going to be facing hardships. Maybe a marriage is failing, or there was a loss in the family, or a friendship broke up, or just life is tough right now. And I realize that, and I want to take a moment to be very sensitive and understand that not everybody's going to look at tomorrow as a beautiful day full of love and excitement, and that they might be feeling their own pain and sorrow. But I do want to encourage you with the fact that God knows that you're walking through that, and God understands, and He's asking you to draw near to Him. And even though there might be earthly hurts going on right now, that God Himself loves you more immeasurably than anything else, and that He is love, and there is not enough words in the human language to explain the kind of love God has for us. So I'm praying that you take comfort knowing that He is with you. I pray that you can get through this really tough day if that's the situation you're in. I pray that everybody has a beautiful and wonderful Valentine's Day, and that we can take a moment to just thank God for the blessing that love is, that He's poured into our life, that He is, and just how beautiful that really is. And I pray that you just take a moment to be with God tomorrow and be in His understanding. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you all have a fantastic day. Please hit that like button down below and subscribe to my channel if you like this content so that you are notified every time I post. Until next time, bye.